Welcome, welcome. How are you today? Wim? Happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday, yeah. I'm happy to be here, and it's nice to see you again. And on the Thursday meeting, like you initiate to do for all these chapters, it's quite an initiative.
Yeah, in fact, it's Happy Open Innovation Thursday, So this is a very happy moment for me. As you know, we've begun this initiative of speaking every week about one chapter in our marvelous Handbook of Open Innovation, the Oxford Handbook of Open Innovation. We already spoke with Agnieszka and with Henry Chesbrough about chapters 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
Next week with chapter number 3, author with John.
Mm-hmm.
Today, we have the privilege to speaking to Wim Vanhaverbeke, who not only co-authored chapter number 4, but also is part of the editorial team. Here you have it. So this is really a privilege, and also for me in particular, it's a very special moment because Wim, you know that I admire you and I appreciate you, and I have many things to thank to you. So this is very special for me. Welcome today.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
So my first question, Wim, can you, for those who don't know you, can you introduce yourself and let us know a little bit about you?
Yeah, very short, right? Because, well, I'm probably one of the senior open innovation management scholars, for sure in age, right? So I started at the KU Leuven in Belgium, right? So as an economics student, and at a particular moment, my promoter said you have to go to management because you're much more interested in management than in economics, which was true, by the way. So I went to IESE Barcelona to get my PhD over there. Then I was teaching mainly in the Netherlands, Maastricht and Eindhoven, came back to Belgium, was visiting professor in the US in Singapore, but also in ESADE in Barcelona. And maybe more important here is that my research always have been on technology and inter-organizational collaboration, even for my PhD thesis. But in 2003, then the book came out of Henry Chesbrough, and he was exactly formulating with his open innovations framework, which was then completely unknown. He was exactly framing what I was doing already for years with some companies in corporate venturing. And so I contacted Henry. And since then, it's all history because we have been working together for almost 20 years. And indeed, so now in 2024, we have finally the Open Innovation Handbook, the Oxford Handbook of Open Innovation, sorry. And yeah, this is like our last venture. And yeah, 1,000 pages thick. It's quite a venture, right?
Yeah, it's quite a venture. And you, in fact, are part of the editorial team. What can you tell us about what moved you to be part of this effort?
Well, it's a little bit like it was quite normal if it was Henry who was asking us both Joel and me if we wanted to be part of a new book, right? So then we have been thinking, okay, what is the new book all about? And we thought it should go in the direction of a handbook, and then we also asked Agnieszka to help us out. And so, because it was a huge work, right? So with 4 of us, we know each other for a long time because Henry and Joel and I have already 2 other books edited. And so it was like a normal consequence that we would be editing again. So now with Agnieszka, with the help of Agnieszka, and we managed to do the handbook, and we are quite happy we did it that way. It's a complete different book compared to the other ones. It's really a handbook, right? So and the main asset, I think, from the book is the fact that we have all major scholars, but also practitioners. So the whole community is almost there, right? So and it's a very interesting book, also future oriented. So I think it's a nice handbook for everybody who is interested in open innovation.
This is amazing. I really like it, and as I get to know it better, I think I enjoy very much the variety of perspectives, the sectors, the insights, the different elements here. And of course, chapter number 4, open innovation, growing the boundaries. That's the title of your chapter today.
Exactly.
So what is it about?
Well, this is a chapter which is not looking backwards in the past what open innovation did, so you could expect that from a handbook. But this is typically a paper which is focused on moving forward in innovation and in open innovation. I have always been focusing on what is not there. So you can focus on what is there in open innovation already, but I was focusing on what is not there. And the whole chapter is basically two ideas, and which I will explain later on. But the two ideas are, the first one is we always think that, or at least most authors think that open innovation is about inbound. And if you look at inbound open innovation, most of the papers, most of the articles are about inbound, because that's strategically important for companies. That's how they make new products based on technology of other companies. And then the reverse is that we usually think, okay, outbound open innovation is only to make money. And I just want to show that this is not the case, that both can be made for money, both can be financially, interesting, but both can also be strategically interesting. So that is one, and I say it's for the future. So I mean, this is something that other scholars, probably younger scholars, can elaborate on, because I'm just giving an idea here by a 2x2 matrix. I come from a business school, so the only thing I know is 2x2 matrices. But
we love them by twos. I mean, we love them.
Well, but don't tell that too much to the economists, right? But the other idea. So the other ideas then, and I will explain it a little bit later, is maybe more important. This is about should companies only look at open innovation when they do some new business development? And my point is, no, they should not. Because you see a lot of companies working together with other companies or with other organizations when they have a strategic objective, but they are not interested to be involved into the product development itself, because it's only a strategic objective for them. And then you see a different type of what I would call almost indirect open innovation, and we have called it outside out open innovation, to give it a different name. And I will try to show that this is potentially very strong, a very a new way, but then also an extended way of looking at open innovation. And probably we have to change our mindset to get there, right? So also moving away from new product development into strategic objectives, direct open innovation to indirect open innovation, one-on-one relationships to ecosystem relationships. So, and this could be a way to, let's say, to rejuvenate open innovation.
That's good, because 20 years already gives us material to do this rejuvenation. No? So let's dig into the first element, I think. No? So, oh, it's sunny where you are. That's nice.
The sun came in a glass there in a window, and so it came over here. So let me just move on. If I allow me, I will share the screen. Let me see if I can find it here. Yes, and then full screen. Okay. So the first thing I mentioned is, okay, we always think that inbound is strategic, and that outbound is only done for monetary reasons. So if you look at it, so the classical way of looking at inbound is you develop new products and services, you collaborate with technology, market partners, and crowds. So this is all traditional. If you look at how that eventually over the years have been becoming more and more sophisticated, you see that companies are building a complete infrastructure to make sure that they can work in a more optimal way with other partners. They also incentivize others to share innovation. So it's not only you look for somebody else. Who has the innovation, but you also incentivize others to innovate. If we take then the opposite, outbound has always been connected to financial returns, so licensing and spinning off. So these are the classical ways of how we look at open innovation. But now we have like two cells there, two quadrants that are not touched upon. And I would say, okay, here it comes that we have the inbound open innovation, which is done for financial reasons, so not only for strategic reasons. And if you look at process innovation, so and there's an SMR paper from Krog in 2017, where you see that process innovations can be very, very important also for, so open innovation is very important in process innovations. And this is to improve productivity, this is to reduce cost and so on. Of course, can also be for gaining, let's say, more competitive advantage. But in this case, you see that there's a possibility to have inbound open innovation for financial reasons, and we have been underemphasizing this. That's an area where we should really look at more. And then more interesting maybe is outbound has also some strategic return, and that's something we have been neglecting for a while, right? So there is some literature there about selective revealing, so that's a strategic reason to open up. You have opening background IP, which we usually have when companies come together, right? So that's another way of outbound open innovation for strategic return. Spin-offs, for instance, if you acquire them, because that's a way of getting technology done by others and financed by others, but it's a strategic return. And also something new is that you incentivize others to innovate. That's also a reason why you can have outbound open innovation, just to make sure that others are more incentivized to work with you. So this is the first part of the very, very short, because we only have 15 minutes. This is the first part of the chapter. And you see, I try to open up the chapter. The title of the chapter is to open up or broaden open innovation. This is these two quadrants, or let's say nice areas for young scholars to work in and to broaden, let's say, open innovation.
And not only scholars, because I think that we also have this way to look at it from the practice side, where you can also actively realize the value that you have for the outbound, which is I have something that I share with others, and the inbound, where you absorb the knowledge to create value. So these are beware that there's also these layers of financial and strategic value that you can obtain from both scenarios.
Exactly.
And the second one?
Sorry, and exactly. So this is also very important for practitioners, and I do agree with that, but I was neglecting that for the moment. The second one, the second part of the chapter is, according to my own intuition, even more important, because we have been focusing only, let's say, here on the technological capabilities in the company. Do we have the capabilities? Yes, but in most cases we don't have the capabilities. So that's our intention. That's our intention to engage in open innovation. But now I have a second dimension, and I want to introduce that maybe in a different way. Assume that because I have a number of examples of sustainability strategic targets, because most companies nowadays have to be sustainable, they have to move in that direction, and they have to be environmental friendly. But being sustainable is not the core business of most companies. If you look, for instance, at Carlsberg is a beer brewer and a Danish beer brewer, and of course, it's in beer brewing, that's their core competence, but they are not in packaging. Yet the sustainability and to become more sustainable is that's what Carlsberg has been doing. In order to become more sustainable, they have to change the packaging, and they have to get involved. So they have a very strong strategic incentives to get involved into making, let's say, biodegradable packaging. Although it's not their core business, but they have a very strong reason to get there. But do they want to own the technology? Do they want to commercialize the technology once it's there? No, because they are not in packaging. So they want to make sure that some packaging company wants to take care of that innovation. That's something we have to keep in mind. And there are many examples. There's also a beautiful research policy article from Masucci and Brusoni and Senamo. They have been focusing already, I think in 2020, they have been focusing on oil majors that initiate, and you see already the diversification in terms. So they initiate the innovation, but they are not the beneficiary of the because they will not be innovating. It's somebody else who has been innovating, but the owners of the innovation will be something else. So I have a second question here. As soon as a company have a strategic incentive to get involved into an innovation, but it's beyond its core capabilities, then it wants to make sure that somebody else take ownership of it. So here we have the propensity for ownership. Does the company wants to take ownership of the technology? And we can have yes, or we can have no. So let's go. If you have the technologies and you want to own it, of course, then it's closed innovation. Nothing wrong with that. We have learned that for decades.
Okay. Yeah.
We can have the classical outside in open innovation, right? So you don't have the technologies and you want to own it. That's typically a new product development issue. So the traditional inbound and the new technological capabilities that you want to build. This is nothing new. This is something we know. But now, in case that you don't want to own it, there you see, for instance, the strategic use of inside-out open innovation that comes back, right? So this you have the technological capabilities, but you're not interested anymore for very good reasons, right? So the traditional outbound open innovation, selective revealing, opening your background IP, all this kind of stuff is a thing that we know, and it's a typical way of framing outbound open innovation. But now we have one quadrant which is completely new. What if you don't have the technologies and you still don't want to own it? And it looks like something very weird in the classical way of thinking for open innovation. But once you start moving away from new product development into more broader strategic objectives of a company to get, for instance, in sustainability, right? And to have like Carlsberg, to have a biodegradable bottle, then you want to initiate that innovation process, but you don't want to own it. And once the bottle is there, you want somebody else to take care of it. And so here, like sustainable open innovation in non-core businesses, digitalization also in non-core assets, technology and market development in complementary non-core businesses like Carlsberg and Sky Energy, which was initiated by KLM. So this is all about that. And if you're interested in exploring outside-out open innovation, please go ahead and read the chapter. You can find it on ResearchGate, on my page on ResearchGate, but also on LinkedIn. So you can find a number of things there. Good. So I'm gonna stop sharing, but you see, this is typically a chapter which is not written for summarizing the past, but it's really about incentivizing others to work on this kind of new ways of doing open innovation. And by the way, this is something which I took from practice, right? So it's the practitioners who are forcing me to think differently about open innovation.
This is amazing. I was going to say that it's connecting really nicely, the theory and the practice here. And I think there are new ways, new venues for new researchers, but also for practitioners to explore and look into it. And of course, we will share in the post your Google Scholars page, because you have also there all the reference material of what you are working on. Exactly. Of course, we invite everyone to follow you on LinkedIn to read the chapter if you want to learn a little bit more about this. And I think what I take out is this way of analyzing the value that you can get, financial value and strategic value, from both outside in and inside out open innovation. And also this way to activate different dimensions of collaboration with others, including outside out open innovation, which is a very new thing. Wim, this is amazing. We took 19 minutes, I think, from the time. But thank you very much for sharing. I really enjoyed listening to you. I enjoyed reading your chapter and invite others to do that. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me. Have a good time. Bye-bye.